Pilot Plus PC for just $17.55 a month. Curries beyond expectations.
If you won't do it for you, do it for your grandchild, who's mad you didn't hear her joke.
Book a free hearing test at bootshearingcare.com.
Vodafone's summer sale is now on. Save up to £984 with the Samsung Galaxy S25 when you trade in. And with Circle to Search, find everything you need this summer fast. Hurry, ends 10th of July. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo. Even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that lucky cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
Because your kid's wizard obsession doesn't work on broken boilers, there's short-term loans from £50 to £1,500 from lendingstream.co.uk.
With Post Office Over 50s life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, you're guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and from just £1.15 a week. Plus free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card for amazon.co.uk, Tesco or M&S. Visit postoffice.co.uk/over50s.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Thanks for staying with NDTV. You're watching the Monday edition of the World Report. I am Arjun Samar Mahendra. US President Trump's Justice Department and FBI have reportedly concluded that they have no evidence that convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was even murdered. Now, the administration is releasing a video in both raw and enhanced versions that it says indicates no one entered the area of the Manhattan prison, where Epstein was in fact held the night he died in 2019. Why is this significant? Why this is significant? Because the findings represent the first time Trump's administration has officially contradicted conspiracy theories about Epstein's activities and his death as well. Now, these are theories that had been pushed by the FBI's top two officials before Trump appointed them to the bureau. PM Modi delivered a powerful and focused address at the 17th BRICS Summit, emphasizing urgent reforms in global governance and a united stand against terrorism. The Prime Minister called for a new multipolar world order, one that is inclusive and prioritizes the interests of the global South. Now, turning to peace and security, PM Modi condemned terrorism as humanity's greatest threat. Referencing the recent terrorist attacks in Pahalgam, he called for zero tolerance toward terrorism, emphasizing that condemning terror must be a principled stand and not just convenience. He warned against giving silent consent or even political cover to terrorists and stressed the need for consistent action worldwide. Listen into what the MEA says, followed by an on-ground report from Russia Today's Anastasia.
On the session on peace and security, Honorable Prime Minister underlined that terrorism was a grave threat facing humanity. In this context, he noted that all the leaders have condemned Pahalgam terrorist attack in strongest terms. He underlined that the attack, the Pahalgam attack, terror attack, is an onslaught on the entire humanity. He also noted that those funding, promoting and providing safe havens to terrorists must be dealt with in the harshest terms.
It's only day one of the 17th BRICS Summit, and the final joint declaration has been released. And of course, in light of the recent escalation between Iran and Israel, the final declaration condemns Israel's attacks on Iran and calls them a violation of international law. Of course, this is not the only conflict in the Middle East. Israel's war against Hamas has also been touched upon, with joint declarations stating that BRICS condemns Israeli attacks on Gaza and called for an immediate ceasefire and full humanitarian access. Plus, the declaration states that Gaza is an inseparable part of the Palestinian territory, reaffirming the Palestinian people have the right for self-determination. BRICS also strongly condemns all terrorism, including the terrorist attacks in India's Jammu and Kashmir earlier in April of this year, and urges justice for those responsible without linking terrorism to any religion group. BRICS also welcomes the Lebanon ceasefire and calls for sovereignty of Lebanon and Syria, and of course urges Israel to withdraw its forces from the Syrian territory without delay. Big statements have also been made today during the BRICS plenary session on peace and security. Indian Prime Minister is of course in attendance and gave his words during the plenary session. And Modi criticized the global institutions like the UN Security Council, stating that it lacked representation from the global south. And he also highlighted the need for a multipolar world order and reaffirmed India's commitment to contributing to BRICS and global peace efforts. So, of course, a lot of big statements from BRICS leaders and top officials and the ones in the final declaration. And it's only been day one. Big statements have been made, and we'll keep you updated as the BRICS Summit unfolds.
New Delhi has achieved a key breakthrough in India's fight against cross-border terrorism. Wanted Khalistani terrorist Happy Pasya is set to be extradited from the United States to India. Now, Pasya was arrested in California's Sacramento on the 17th of April by US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, after close coordination with Indian security agencies. Viewers, now declared a wanted terrorist by the NIA, Pasya faces multiple charges related to grenade attacks and assaults in police stations across Punjab between 2024 and 25. Authorities had even announced a 5 lakh reward for information leading to the dreaded terrorist capture. US President Donald Trump has announced an extra 10% tariff for any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of BRICS. Trump has announced that countries aligning with BRICS policies will be charged an additional 10% tariff, and here will be no exceptions to this policy. Trump did not, however, clarify or even expand on the anti-American policies reference in his post. Meanwhile, Trump has also said that the US tariffs will kick in on the 1st of August if trading partners do not strike deals with Washington. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed comments by Trump to reporters about the Air Force One on Friday, in which he also cited the August 1 deadline. The much-anticipated India-US interim trade deal may miss its July 9 deadline, with talks hitting a rough patch over key unresolved issues. Now, NDTV sources indicate that no more formal rounds of negotiations are scheduled, and a deal will materialize only if the two sides are able to bridge critical gaps informally, and that too in the next few days. While both countries have been pushing for a limited mini-deal focused on good trade and tariff reductions, discussions rather have stalled over agriculture and dairy access, where India, in fact, is unwilling to yield ground. New Delhi has made clear that sensitive sectors like dairy and certain agri products are off the table. Here's more.
It's very, very interesting, this development coming in. We were all wondering why a negotiation or the final closure of a trade deal is being delayed, and now commentary coming in from Donald Trump himself that it was perhaps this BRICS summit and this extra BRICS tariff that Trump is now preparing to impose, at least on BRICS countries. With this, if there are two scenarios now as we stand before this July 9 deadline scenario. One is, of course, that India is able to secure an interim trade deal. It is then there will be certain reductions on certain goods, on certain tariffs, and India will be exempted from reciprocal tariffs. But there is a second case where India is not able to reach a deal before the deadline, and then India's tariffs will revert back to the April tariffs levels, plus this additional 10% tariffs that Trump has just announced on BRICS countries, which might take up India's tariffs up to 46% starting August 1st. Those are the two scenarios. What we know currently is that 9:30 p.m. tonight is when we'll know whether and what sort of deal India has been able to crack with the US. That is something that we'll have our eyes peeled on at 9:30.
The latest round of indirect ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas have ended without a breakthrough. Now, this comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu heads to Washington to meet Donald Trump. Netanyahu said he thinks his meeting with the US president on Monday should help progress efforts to reach a deal for the release of more hostages and also a ceasefire in the besieged enclave of Gaza. He had said he had given his negotiators clear instructions to achieve a ceasefire agreement under conditions Israel has accepted. Here are Trump and Netanyahu meanwhile for you.
But we're working on a lot of things with Israel, and one of the things is probably a permanent deal with Iran. In other words, they have to give up all of the things that you know so well. The attack turned out, according to every single atomic energy commission, that was a complete and total obliteration.
Over in West Asia, Israel has attacked Houthi targets in 3 Yemeni ports in a power plant, marking the first Israeli attack on Yemen in almost 1 month. Now, the strikes on Hodeidah, Ras Issa and Salif ports and also the Ras Kantib power plant were due to repeated Houthi attacks on Israel. The IDF has in fact said in a statement. Now, hours after the strikes, the Israeli military said 2 missiles were also launched from Yemen and attempts were made to intercept them, but the results of interceptions were still under review. Over in the US, flash floods in the state of Texas have killed at least 82 people and left many more missing. Now, 4 months worth of rainfall, around 1.8 trillion gallons, that is, fell in just hours on Friday. Authorities are unsure how many people remain unaccounted for, but they include at least 10 children who were also at a summer camp. The tragedy has brought scrutiny on the National Weather Service. The agency's Central Texas offices have several critical vacancies, and while some openings may predate the current administration, the number has roughly doubled since US President Donald Trump returned to office on the 20th of January. Now, that means there are fewer people able to coordinate with local authorities, possibly also hampering the emergency response, experts have said. Here's a ground report from Texas meanwhile.
I'm standing on the banks of the Guadalupe River in Hunt, Texas, the site of some of the worst damage to come from the floods that ripped through this area on July 4th. Behind me is Camp Mystic, a girls' camp that was devastated by a wall of water that came raging through here in the middle of the night. Dozens of young girls were swept away, many who are among the approaching 70 who have been killed in this, 21 confirmed children who have died. Out here today, what we see are families returning to this spot to look through the camp, look through the dorms, look through the cabins where their children were. They're walking through and examining piles of debris, from soaked mattresses to personal trunks. They're opening them and looking through for any kind of personal belongings that they can find. The waters are calm now, but just about a couple hundred yards away from where those families are, search and rescue efforts continue.
King Charles has called on people to stand united against those who would seek to divide us in a message marking the 20th anniversary of the 7/7 attacks in London. The king, in fact, condemned the senseless act of evil that saw bombs detonated on the capital's public transport system, killing 52 people and injuring more than 700 others, viewers. Now, the king called for a spirit of unity and said the attacks had shown the importance of building a society where people of all faiths and backgrounds can live together with mutual respect and understanding. US President Donald Trump has dismissed Elon Musk's newly launched political party, the America Party, calling the idea ridiculous and also reiterating his faith in the traditional two-party system. Now, Trump added, third parties have never worked. He can have fun with it. My colleague Parmeshwar Bawa, meanwhile, brings you all the details.
For Elon Musk, well, space, done. Electric cars, done. Buying Twitter, done. But starting a political party in the United States, well, not so fast it seems. The billionaire tech titan says he's done waiting for Washington to fix itself. And now, after a very public falling out with the US President Donald Trump, Musk has announced the launch of the America Party, saying Americans are fed up with what he calls a one-party system dressed up as democracy. Bold move, right? Absolutely. But is it as easy as it sounds? Not even close. To go from tweet to ballot, Musk will need to jump through 50 different sets of state laws, gather millions of signatures, and also navigate a maze of legal challenges, many likely funded by the same Republicans and Democrats he wants to disrupt. Let's just take California, for example. Just to be recognized, Elon Musk's party would need either 75,000 registered members or over 1 million signatures. And that's just one state in the US. Multiply that, add federal election rules, lawsuits, and deadlines, and you've got a mission far harder than launching a Falcon 9. Don't get me wrong, Musk has the money. His net worth sits above $350 billion, but building a new political party in the US isn't just expensive, it's time-consuming, and experts say it'll take years and definitely won't be ready in time for the 2026 midterms. Musk, by the way, knows this. That's why he says his party will start small, targeting a handful of congressional seats to tip the scales on key legislation. And maybe a presidential candidate later. But even then, America's two-party system is a fortress, and third parties, well, they've historically bounced off the walls. So is Musk's plan visionary or vanity, revolutionary, or just reactive to losing his EV tax breaks under Trump's new bill? Well, for now, the America Party exists mostly on social media. But if Musk is serious, he's going to need more than memes, polls, and posts. He'll need paperwork, patience, and of course, a political army.
Indian origin Vaibhav Taneja has been appointed the treasurer and custodian of records for Elon Musk's America Party. Now, Taneja serves as the chief financial officer of Tesla. In paperwork filed with the US Federal Election Commission, the party confirmed his dual role in its financial and compliance operations as well. The United Arab Emirates has made its residency program more accessible to professionals across sectors. The Gulf nation has in fact introduced a new type of golden visa based on nomination, albeit with some conditions. Unlike the current practice of investing large amounts in either property or business in the country. Now, the move comes as good news for Indian nationals specifically, who make up one of the largest expat communities in the UAE. India and Bangladesh have been selected for the first phase of testing this visa. My colleague Disha Bakchi gets you more.
In a boost for Indians seeking to move to the UAE has introduced a new golden visa, which essentially will allow Indians to get lifetime residency in the country for just rupees 23 lakh. Now, previously, this visa would require Indians to invest in the country, but that is no longer a criteria, where now applicants can simply nominate themselves with this one-time fee of rupees 23 lakh. And after these applicants are vetted for their criminal record, social media behavior, anti-money laundering compliance and other such requirements, if they meet these requirements, you can get this golden visa, which essentially will allow visa holders to bring their family, hire domestic help in the country, and even run businesses in the UAE. So this is a major boost for Indian immigrants. And the company running this, leading this visa process, which is the Riyadh Group, has said that they anticipate 5,000 applicants in just the first 3 months. So quite a big demand for this visa. And India and Bangladesh are getting early access and priority access to this visa in the first phase. And in fact, what this means is this is part of essentially the India-UAE the bilateral partnership agreement that was signed in 2022, and it's really a boost for Indian immigrants seeking to move to the UAE, because this essentially means that the Indians don't have to invest in the country, which was a bit of a hurdle for those seeking to move to the UAE. But now, with just a one-time fee of rupees 23 lakh, you can get lifetime residency in the UAE.
This time we slip into a short break. Much more on the other side.
Life's full of times like this. Oh yeah. The gaps between the good stuff. Okay. Like killing time in waiting rooms. It's not long until you've had enough. David, it's time for some tombola. Bingo 90. While your car gets made all shiny. Deal or no deal's exciting. So your ready meal is piping. Grounded on the runway. Open for fun. Paddling on your steak. Open for fun. Yeah. Well done.
It's funny that with unexpected bills, like your car breaking down, a dude on a white horse never comes to save you.
You can't park there, mate.
And your kid's wizard obsession doesn't work on broken boilers.
This is where LendingStream come in. Short-term loans from £50 to £1,500.
Apply online, 6 months to pay it back. Take back control with a short-term loan from lendingstream.co.uk. Representative APR 1,271%.
OK, we know this isn't your granddaughter. If this were your granddaughter, she'd want you to know that she's upset because you didn't hear her joke. It wasn't a particularly good joke, but still. Now you owe her an ice cream and a hearing test. Book a free test today at bootshearingcare.com. And now you can hear her jokes again. She's over the moon.
If you won't do it for you, do it for them. You could have better hearing in just a week. Boots, with you for life.
Some people think life slows down in your 50s, but I'm just getting started and there's so much that I want to do. And yeah, I'll be retiring in a few years, so it makes sense to plan ahead. That's why I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. I know my lot don't need the money, but it's nice to leave a little something to help with funeral costs and other expenses, so they can spend their money on nicer things.
Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period.
Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life, so you can just get on with things. Plus, unlike other things in life, the price never goes up.
Their claims process is really straightforward, so your loved ones will be looked after.
Learning more couldn't be simpler and can be done in just a few minutes. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team who will chat you through your options in just one phone call. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period.
Get covered in minutes with no annoying trips to the doctor. With fixed monthly payments, prices start at just £4.42 a month.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
So stop putting it off and get it done. Then you can get on with doing something much more interesting.
To get a free life insurance quote, call our friendly UK team on 0800 542 1004 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
Welcome back. You're watching The World Report. Now, stock markets slipped in Asia on Monday amid confusion as US officials flagged a delay on tariffs but failed to provide much detail on the change. While oil prices slid as the OPEC Plus opened the supply spigots more than expected, the US, meanwhile, is close to finishing several trade agreements in the coming days and will notify other countries of higher tariff rates by the 9th of July, President Donald Trump said on Sunday, with the higher tax rates to take effect on the 1st of August. The Badshahs of Birmingham, or Team India, have pulled off a sensational victory, defeating England to level the series 1-1, and in fact ending the 68-year-long wait for a win at the Ek Bastion. Leading from the front was captain Shubman Gill, rewriting the record books in style. Here's what he said after the match.
Yes, I think sometimes, especially when you are the captain, I think you need to lead by example, so that whenever there is another player in that situation, you can command to that player, this is what the team requires right now, and you always have to put the team first rather than your personal desires, or sometimes you want to try some things. But I think if you put the team ahead of you, you would always walk in the right direction or walk on the right path, and that's what I wanted to do in this match. If a good ball gets me out, it gets me out, but as long as I am there, I want to play as long as possible.
Over the past few years, Carlos Alcaraz has made it abundantly clear that he is looking for a relationship. But that can be difficult given the nature of his job, as we all know it. But now tennis star Emma Raducanu breaks the silence as far as the Carlos Alcaraz dating rumors are concerned. We get you more.
Yeah, he messaged me and asked me to play, and I mean, I was very surprised and excited, of course. But yeah, it's going to be so much fun, and I've known him for such a long time, so many years. So to kind of share the court together is something really, really special.
Oh, to be in love at the most iconic tennis tournament in the world. London's grass courts ready themselves for the two young superstars of tennis, Carlos Alcaraz and Emma Raducanu, as the duo gears up to play the mixed doubles series. Labeled the Golden Pair, Alcaraz and Raducanu are on their way to compete together in the competition, as speculation on social media swells about the rumored romance between the pair. As tabloids and social media continue to focus on the duo's chemistry off the field, excitement of tennis fans is at an all-time high. All eyes will be on the champion duo. Is this just a story for the headlines? Or will the golden pair actually lift silverware together, fueling the rumors even further? Sriram Ganesh's report for NDTV.
Jurassic World Rebirth dominated the Independence Day weekend box office, pulling in a whopping $318.3 million globally over its first 5 days. Now, this is according to estimates released Sunday. Directed by Gareth Edwards, the Universal Pictures blockbuster debuted on Wednesday and brought in $147.3 million from 4,308 theaters across North America. And hard rock royalty and some 40,000 fans gathered for an ear-splitting tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, or Ozzy as he's called, at what the heavy metal icon says was his last ever live performance. That's correct. The original lineup of Osbourne's band Black Sabbath performed at Villa Park Soccer Stadium in the home city of Birmingham, Central England on Saturday. The 76-year-old singer, who has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, sang from a black throne that rose up from under the stage. Let the madness begin, he urged as he took the stage and later paid tribute to his fans. That's all we have for you on this Monday. Take care and have a wonderful day.
The £5 meal deal from McDonald's. Cheeseburger or mayo chicken, fries, 4 chicken McNuggets and a drink. For guess what? That's right, £5.
Get that Lucky Cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. That's luckycowbingo.com/bingo.
Vodafone's summer sale is now on. Save up to £984 with the Samsung Galaxy S25 when you trade in. And with Circle to Search, find everything you need this summer fast. Hurry, ends 10th of July. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Your personalized car insurance deals from Auto Circuit, already done for you.
Simples.
Just make it simples with Compare the Market.
If you won't do it for you, do it for your dog, who's upset you didn't hear his whining.
Book a free hearing test at bootshearingcare.com.
Magic family moments deserve the perfect setting. A stylish awning from House is the ideal addition to your outdoor space. Available in a range of colours and finishes, and with the option of integrated lighting and heating, you can enjoy your outdoor space for even longer. Now that is magic. House awnings, made for life.
The Harry's starter set. Get our trim and razor, shave gel and travel cover with 30% off and free delivery. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
Can I take some?
This is incredible. I can't believe it.
And now for some real magic. Just pour it, mix it, and hack it. Delicious iced coffee in a single shot. New Nescafe Espresso Concentrated.
When Tony passed, we wanted to celebrate him his way. All he ever spoke about was bite this, bite that. I'll never forget our first date. Huge grin on his face as he rode up on that big noisy thing. And that's exactly the way he'd want to be remembered.
At Co-op Funeral Care, we offer a choice of funerals including direct cremation. We're right by you when you need us. Search online, call us or visit your local funeral home.
Unexpected bills? Need to borrow some money? Not from that slimy toad down the pub, eh?
Short-term loans from £50 to £1,500 from lendingstream.co.uk.
With Post Office Over 50s life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, your guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and from just £1.15 a week. Plus free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card for amazon.co.uk, Tesco or M&S. Visit postoffice.co.uk/over50s.
Thanks for staying with NDTV. You're watching the Monday edition of India Global with me, Arjun Samar Mahendran. We have a packed show for you here, but first, the headlines. Big diplomatic